Happy Valley.
Happy Valley Fiddlers Convention. That's what we're here to talk about today. I'm Paige Counts, Public Information Officer for Caldwell County, and welcome to Caldwell County Today. As you've already seen today, we are joined by Patrick Crouch, William Ritter, and Kay Crouch. Welcome.
Thank you,
Thanks
Paige.
for having us.
We are here to talk about the Fiddlers Convention, but before we get started with that, I think most of our viewers know Kay and Pat. They've been with us several times.
Yes.
Seen your faces, but the face they may not know is William's. William, tell us a little about yourself.
Well, my name's William Ritter, and I'm the festival manager for Happy Valley this year. Recently moved back up to Mitchell County, where I'm from, but for a couple of years was blessed to live here in Caldwell, and so it's good to be back down for a minute today.
Well, welcome back. We're glad to have you, and thank you for being the festival manager. I'm going to ask, what does that mean? What's a festival manager?
You see the hat, don't you?
Yeah.
Like the go-to guy for everything.
Yeah, the cat herder, I guess. Yeah, well, it's still very much a volunteer-led festival, but I do little things, website and booking acts and various things. A lot of threads, holding a lot of irons on the fire, but.
Well, speaking of booking the acts, who do we have this year?
We have these two with their band Strictly Clean and Decent, and actually Jack Lawrence is going to join us this year.
Yes, Paige. We have Jack Lawrence playing on the Strictly Clean and Decent set, and most folks in Western North Carolina remember Jack Lawrence. He was Doc Watson's sideman from 1984 until 2009, and actually some years before and some years after. Jack was a dear friend of Merle Watson's, and early on he substituted for Merle when Merle couldn't make the shows. And then when Merle came off the road in '84, that's when Jack took over full-time with Doc. And he continued to play with Doc until the end of Doc's career, of course, and then eventually, of course, the end of Doc's life. But Jack was a man who showed up a lot in Caldwell County in what I call the early days. And what happened to string music, it was during my lifetime. I had uncles and my dad played music. And there were other older folks in Caldwell County who played music. Cecil Palmer and Carolina Ray, I talk about them a lot. Cecil's going to be 88 years old this year. And he said the first really good guitar player he ever saw was my uncle. Wow. And so then what happened, though, in the early 1970s, Clarence Green came to Caldwell County, and he honestly revolutionized string band music. Clarence's father was an old-time fiddle player.
Also from Mitchell County.
From Mitchell County, yeah. And so this ties a lot of things back together. But the way I met Jack Lawrence was he was one of the people who came to Caldwell County seeking out Clarence Green to learn old songs and to learn instrumental music. And so met Jack around 75, and we've been playing a lot of music together. And so we're delighted to have Jack on our part of the show. Who else have we got, William?
We also have a band, I don't think we've had them before, the Little Stony Nighthawks.
Great.
Which are a young, I guess they'd probably be okay with me calling them an old-time bluegrass band.
Right.
But they're not like a good, hard driving band. All the different members play all kinds of different instruments, but they're a really good young band. And we also have the Piney Woods Boys, who we have about every year.
We've had them for 2 or 3 years, actually, during the festival time, and I love their set page, the Piney Woods Boys. That's Wayne Martin, Matt Haney, somebody named Jim Collier, and Margaret Martin, whoever she is.
Yeah, they're great. Wayne was the head of the North Carolina Arts Council for years, and he's an incredible musician and fiddler, and just supporter of things like the Fiddlers Convention. He's been a big supporter of all sorts of stuff up and down the valley, really.
And Wayne's another man I met through Clarence Green. He's another man who came to Caldwell County looking for Clarence Green, and he's become our dear friend.
He loved Happy Valley so much he bought an acre.
Yeah, he loves it. He invested in land. He's a landowner out there.
You can't find any land out in Happy Valley unless you want to buy like 500 acres.
Yeah.
But he managed to talk somebody out of an acre.
We've also got Pat Kelleher guesting, is that correct?
Yeah. He's going to open up our Sunday show.
Pat is our dear friend from Dripsey, Ireland. And Pat Kelleher came to Caldwell County looking for Tony Deal. You thought I was going to say Clarence Green?
Then you threw Tony Deal in there, and I'm like,
Yeah, well, we have to throw Tony Deal in there.
well,
If you're talking about Happy Valley Fiddlers Convention, you have to talk about Tony Deal. And you can mention the world's greatest fiddler, Alec Bernhardt, if you wish to. Alec and Ann, they're both fiddle players too. And all that ties back into a young man who came to Caldwell County named Bob Kogut many years ago. Bob sort of created a fiddle revival in Caldwell County, and people haven't forgiven him for it yet. What else have we got going on Sunday, William?
Well, so we have them. We also have a pretty well-known local band, the Harris Brothers, are going to be there. They'll have Tim Higgins with them.
Ryan and Reggie Harris with fiddling Tim Higgins. Tim, I think he spent most of his adult time in Atlanta, but he's one of the mightiest fiddle players I've ever heard. Timmy, we call him Little Timmy Higgins, and he's ready to go, Paige. Trust me, trust me. He's a lovely fiddler. So we're going to have a lot of really good players, aren't we?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So that's Sunday. You got some special things going on Friday too.
Well,
William.
we have
Sunday, though.
we have also one more band.
Oh, I'm sorry.
We have our Sunday show is a little bit longer than it has been recently because we have a little band you may have heard of, the Kruger Brothers.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
I first met Jens and Uwe. They came to the recording studio to work on a project. There was a 12-year-old fiddle prodigy from Asheville, Danielle Bishop.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Was doing a recording with me, and the Krugers came over to play on Danielle's record. They were coming to play on two songs, so they played on. So they played on two songs, and it took them about an hour to do two songs, and then Jens says, "Now let's jam." And so we ended up playing music for several hours into the wee hours, and then Jens and Uwe were kind enough during the quarantine. They were doing live streaming shows, and they still are doing on Wednesdays. And they invited Kay and me down 2 times to do live streams with them, and they're dear friends of Caldwell County music and Caldwell County musicians. We just love them, and they'll have Joel with them, I suppose. Joel Landsberg on bass.
Yeah.
And will they have Jody as well? Do you know?
They'll have the percussionist.
Yeah, so it'll be 4 pieces. And a lot of folks, have heard the Krugers as a trio, but I don't know if everybody's heard them with
as a
Jody.
foro.
As a quarro, yeah. Man, they do some great music though. What's going on Friday? You got a lot of stuff happening this year, William.
We do. We've got really crammed it in there.
Yeah, let's talk about Friday.
So Friday is what we have started calling Free Friday. And so Friday is going to have a few different things. Kicking it off, we're going to do a little show, kind of honoring Bobby McMillan, who was from Caldwell County here, and one of the best known sort of storytellers and singers of just old as dirt songs. He knew more old songs than I'll ever hear in my life. He passed away last fall, and so we just thought it might be nice to try to honor him and have a little concert. So Sheila K. Adams is coming, and we'll have a few other people do a little kind of probably about an hour-long show, and then following that we'll have our open mic, which has always been really interesting. So that's a whole lot of fun, and we'll have our joke contest, and the joke contest is something that I instituted. I think it's pretty cool, but the idea is there's 2 awards. You can either win for the best joke or the worst joke, and it is possible someone could win both with one joke. Right. So it could happen.
We're not mentioning any names, Rodney said.
Yeah, right.
But the cool thing about the open mic for me on Friday, we have folks who drive from Texas. We have people who come from as far away as Sawmills. And where else? Other states. I'm trying to think of other states.
West Virginia.
Mississippi, Wayne,
Ohio.
Some folks come from upstate New York.
Right.
But when these people come in,
Mexico.
they haven't seen each other in a while. So on Friday night, sometimes we'll get some wild combinations.
Oh, sure.
For the open mic, you'll have people from different states. You'll have people from a lot of different backgrounds, who like different kinds of music, and
really good pickers too.
Great musicians, and So does the joke contest ended on Friday? Is that the end of the ceremonies on Friday?
The contest is kind of woven into the open mic.
Okay.
It's kind of between sets. People can get up and tell a joke, or if they're playing,
So on Friday, are we going to run say till like 11 or 10 on Friday?
Yeah,
What's
it'll
it gonna
probably
run?
be a judgment call when we
probably between 10 and 11.
Yeah, once people start playing trombones, we'll probably
that usually ends everything. But the other thing a lot of folks don't realize is, some people, especially in the summertime and when it's really hot weather, it's really pleasant to be awake late at night. And so after the official activities are done on the main stage on Friday, there will be many informal sessions, people sitting around like Kay and William and I are today, just playing music. And you can walk around and hear all different kinds of things. I was, last time I was there, I was really impressed with Kerry from down in Durham, North Carolina.
Oh, yeah.
Kerry came up and he played a harmonica great, and he also played wonderful banjo. And then late one night, he picked up a guitar and played us a whole set of Tin Pan Alley songs. So it's, we say Happy Valley Fiddlers Convention, and a lot of people, they may think, well, it's, what am I going to hear fiddles all weekend? But you're going to hear a little bit of everything.
Importantly, there's not an apostrophe S or an apostrophe after the S. The convention does not belong to the fiddlers.
Right.
There's just fiddlers there.
There's fiddlers there. We'll have all kinds of instruments. We'll have little mandolins, guitars, banjos, basses. Of course, there will be fiddles. Okay, Bob, you haven't said a word.
Well,
Jump in here. Jump in here.
Well, this is the Happy Valley Fiddlers Convention, and Fiddlers Conventions are competitions. And we're a little bit different because we have the kind of festival aspect where we have bands come in on Sunday and play. But the real meat of the weekend is the competition on Saturday that starts at 10 in the morning and ends at about 10 at night.
Right.
We've got nine different categories. Of course, fiddles and twin fiddles, but also guitar and banjo, mandolin.
There's an open category.
Category that's just
an instrument not named in.
Right, and not one of the other 8.
Yeah.
I aim to get in on the sousaphone competition.
Oh, you better do it. Don't tease us like that.
Others, but things like dulcimers and auto harps. And there's a folk song category and
a dance.
Dance, that's right.
Dance
is
is
a
very
big part
important.
of it, and it's not always part of Fiddlers Conventions, but we have great dancers. We'll also have workshops on Saturday for the youth, and sometimes those workshops are a lot of fun for adults to listen to,
right.
too.
And we'll have workshops on Sunday, too, as well. And on Saturdays when we'll have the Junior Appalachian musicians have their showcase from some of the local chapters of the Jam, as it's called. We'll be there on Sunday. We'll have like the dance workshop and different things. There's a lot going on. There's a lot to do there. And even if you just come and putter around and don't even go up to the main stage, you can hear all kinds of great music going on down in the campground. The river's usually just beautiful.
It is.
Really, really nice. I've gone kayaking down it sometimes.
Started to say there's usually a kayak parade.
Yeah, there are people come. There's and the Ducky Derby thing too.
Right, the Duck Derby, the little ducks floating down. And you mentioned parade. We've got the kayak parade, which is kind of sprung up. But we also have a real parade. We're the only Fiddlers Convention that we know of who has a parade and
as many children's activities.
Exactly,
really,
right.
That's a real focus. The youth.
Yeah, children's activities are not always like musical activities. They're just
crafts and various things. There's a lot to do.
We talked about Free Friday. Yes. What's the admission charge on Saturday?
So it's free, obviously. Then it's $10 for Friday, and then it's
Saturday.
Saturday. Yeah, it's free 10, then 20 for Sunday.
Okay.
You can get a weekend pass for $25.
Excellent.
And there will be tickets for you can get in advance on the website. I haven't quite put them up there as of whatever today is, but tonight they the tickets should be live. You'll be able to get those on Facebook or on our website.
And that's happyvalleyfiddlers.org.
Yeah.
And we've talked about prices and we've talked about days, but we haven't given dates.
Oh yes. yeah, the one thing I love about this festival is it's really easy to tell people when it is. The numbers will change from year to year,
Right.
but it's always Labor Day weekend. So it'll always be.
So if you're
Labor Day
looking for
weekend.
something to do, Labor Day weekend, this is the place to be.
It is. And you could even come down and get a tattoo here in town and then at the tattoo festival and then come on out. You could have two wildly different festival experiences probably.
Right.
You can get your fiddle tattoo and then you go to the
Well, that's a
fiddler
great
convention.
idea. Yeah.
And about halfway between Lenore and the Happy Valley Fiddlers Convention is a new eating establishment. And I was talking to Angela the other day, and she's one of the proprietors of the Happy Valley Filling Station. And she wanted everybody to know that all weekend, folks traveling back and forth to the festival would be welcome to stop in at Happy Valley Filling Station. And that's a good place right there by the banks of
That's
the
right. I
Yadkin.
think they'll be having some
And
specials.
They will be,
It's
yes.
a genuine brewery and pizza place.
Yeah.
You actually can't get gas there, but you can
Yeah.
fill up in
Yeah.
other ways.
You
right.
fill up in other ways,
Yeah.
definitely other ways, but,
But
it is a great place.
But that's just part of the whole community spirit. You know, that's one thing I love is that everybody's pulling together, pulling in the same direction, and everybody's objective is to have an event that is fun. You know, not only for the musicians but for the families, and especially for people who might be just passing through and just accidentally discover the festival. You know, it's a great place just to walk up, meet new friends, enjoy just the beauty that our county has to offer. It's one of the most beautiful things.
And it really is in a beautiful site situated on Highway 268, which is a scenic highway on the Jones farm with this beautiful ridge in back of us and the Yadkin River going right through the site. And he allows people to camp there for a very small fee. It is all primitive camping, but he does allow RVs to come in for boondocking and tent camping. There are places where it can be very quiet if you've got little ones who need to sleep, and then
Right.
there are places that
Quiet.
that are less quiet. We can stop at that, but it's usually music related. Just
And if you're really lucky, at some point during your stay at the Happy Valley Fiddlers Convention, you'll get to have a visit with Tony Jones.
Yes.
If you're really lucky, and he will tell you things you need to know about life, love, and liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
Particularly in reference to Happy Valley.
In reference to Happy Valley.
An edible amount of knowledge about
Right,
that area.
yeah.
He does,
Well,
and he loves the festival as much as anybody there.
And and we talked a lot about music, but there's going to be different kind of vendors, craft
Yes,
vendors,
yes.
authors. Really, there's a focus on the regional, local history in a big way. It's kind of a big history festival as well. So
Right.
there's a lot of different things to get into there. And sometimes we'll have people selling instruments and instrument repair people too. So maybe if your guitar could use a little tune-up, there might be somebody there to fix it up for you.
I feel very sure that I know for a fact Robert Gutzfa from the Music Patch in Morganton. Robert owns a business in Morganton, but he actually lives in Happy Valley. And so that's where we met Robert, was at the Fiddlers Convention, and I'm sure he'll be there. And so we'll, as William said, anything pertaining to instruments, if you're a person who's interested in getting started, maybe finding somebody to teach lessons, or if you have
finding an instrument.
or if you have an instrument for sale, if there's a person who's, like if you've had an instrument, you've been running an ad on Reverb or Facebook or something, and nobody's purchased that instrument, I would load it up and bring it to Happy Valley and walk around with it and show it to some folks, because
Put a for sale sign on it.
yeah, well, you can, because these people are into music, and most of us have been saving up for a year to get this gig, so
We've been saving up for 3 years.
Right.
Yeah,
Goodness.
it has been a while.
it's
has
been a
been.
while.
So it's been 2 years since we've officially had the
It has
festival.
been, and so we're looking forward to that.
One of the things I was thinking about as you're talking about the community, are you still in need of volunteers?
Always, yes, certainly. There's a lot of different areas that we can use volunteers. So, if we find out what your strengths are,
Sure.
we can sure.
Or in some cases, just what you're willing to do.
Right, true. Which could be a strength, right?
Yeah, it could be.
And we offer free admission
We do, right. They're just
To
you
those
just
volunteers,
just
yeah.
have to work a certain number of hours and you get in for free. Well, I mean the volunteers are what make the festival in a big way the people involved. So
And you folks, Kay and William, of course William's on the committee, he's managing, Kay's on the committee. Are there folks on the committee that you'd like to talk about that are in need of specific things or like that? Is there anything specifically, or is it everything, William?
That's all on the site.
I think Tony Dill's in need of a vacation, but well, you know, we
Tony.
yeah, we're
I'm glad he's not here so we can talk about him. That rascal.
Yeah, he's we've got a really good group of people helping steer the ship here. We really appreciate them. In one area, but I mean, if anyone's interested in volunteering, they could reach out on Facebook or through our website has a contact form. Particularly like maybe the weekend before the festival, we got to get. It is a cow pasture, and so we do clean up the barn and try to make things presentable. Helping Tony Jones,
Yes.
who also needs a vacation.
Yes.
Helping him get the place set up. I'll be out there. Usually there's some other people maybe camping out early just to.
Sure.
So it's kind of can be a fun time out there. It's more fun cleaning up the cow pasture than it sounds.
I'd say it is, William. And we appreciate that.
It's a beautiful place.
We do let Mother Nature take her course there.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, but it's
For a
all
lot of
mowed,
it,
and we take the cows off early enough
Yes,
that
right.
there's no landmines
Right.
really anywhere.
The
So
sun come
Positive.
out.
yeah. But it is a really special place, and I'm sure we've mentioned this before, but it is where poor Laura Foster was buried after she was murdered by someone allegedly was Tom Dooley, or at least I've heard a lot of people say like, we don't know if he killed her, but he dang sure buried her.
Right.
But the first time before she, yeah.
Yeah.
So, anyways, but she was famously one of the characters in the song "Hang Your Head, Tom Dooley" that I'm sure everyone's heard. So we usually do a little storytelling thing about Laura Foster by the gravesite. In the past, Bobby McMillan had done that every year, just about. I
Right.
think.
Yeah, Bobby had done it several years.
Yeah. So. We do have Rob McHale, I think, and his brother.
Oh, really?
Are on Saturday night. We'll be doing a little
Great.
graveside storytelling.
And Rob McHale, he's been a guiding light in North Carolina music for many years. He hosts one of the longest running singer-songwriter nights in our state, actually.
Wow.
Yeah, and he does that out of his home community of Davidson. And so it'll be a pleasure to have Rob up our way. He's just a true
Oh, he's
gentleman.
great. Yeah, he's
and he's
amazing.
very interested in
Great
the history of the
entertainer,
valley.
too.
Oh yeah, so it'll be great to have him. I didn't know we had him. That's great.
Yeah, sure
That's
do.
very good, William.
Yeah,
Excellent.
we got a heck of a
Excellent work.
lineup.
Excellent work,
A
William.
lot of things going on,
Yeah.
a lot of moving pieces.
Yes,
That's
yes.
volunteer opportunity.
Yes.
Very much so. Yeah, but please come on down.
All righty.
Anything else? I feel like there's so much more we could talk about to give it away. I do have one more question. How long's the Fiddlers Convention been going on?
I can tell
Ours.
you. What? Oh, well, yeah, Fiddlers Conventions have been going on. Like as long as there have been fiddles, just about. Again, I'm kind of a latecomer to the whole thing. As far as, unless I'm bad at counting on my fingers, I'm pretty sure it's the 15th annual. Patrick was saying earlier, maybe we should just call it the perennial.
It comes back every year.
Yeah.
It just comes. I like that. The perennial.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I'm not exactly sure. I know Tony Deal, I think, was involved in the
Yes.
first.
He's been in on the
first
ground
one.
floor. Mm-hmm.
And it actually kind of grew out of a Fiddlers Convention at the community college, I believe.
Not
You may
sure.
have heard that
Yeah.
that's where it had kind of its first roots took place there.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's been over on Jones Farm, I guess, about the whole.
It has
time.
been. It has been there from the very first event.
And I think the idea was a way to celebrate the history of the area, and also to connect the agriculture to the history too, because that actually will help a farm when you can add in those kind of historical, cultural things that can be helpful. It's a lot to manage a farm, but that can help a little bit check some of those boxes.
And our culture has always been tied to what they called barn dances. And these things would be taking place. Kay and I are part of a little trio that we have with Ron Shuffler, and we call our trio Strictly Clean and Decent. And so people always say, well, that's a funny name. Why do you have a name like that? Well, we got it off of an old barn dance poster. There was a poster on the side of this barn, and it said, barn dance every Saturday night at 8 p.m. And then below that it said, Strictly Clean and Decent. And so that's why we named our band, for just the heritage and the folklore that's passed down to you, like not only through song, but through the old fiddle tunes. A lot of the fiddle tunes will have a name about some place where something either comical or tragic took place, and we're still writing tunes like that. We're still a lot of fiddle tunes commemorate people, great people, or people who were scoundrels. It can go either way. So we celebrate, when music, you can read the history book, and that will tell you what happened. In the history book, it says plainly and simply, this is what happened. But if you listen to the songs, you'll know how the people felt. You'll understand what they were going through. So that's part of what a Fiddlers Convention to me is about as well, is just connecting with, being grounded and being proud of your music and where you're from.
Yeah, and if you come out, you might hear Tucker's Barn.
You could hear Tucker's Barn. You could very easily hear that.
When the Caldwell County Government Television Station first came on the air, one of the very first programs that was done was based on a newspaper article from and I don't know whether it was the Lenore News or the Lenore Topic, but it was one of the two of them. And it was a write-up of a fiddlers convention that was held in downtown Lenore.
Over 100 years ago.
Yeah, and it listed all of the names of the people who participated and the songs that they played. And it had the prize money too, which I think were like $20 gold pieces or something like that.
Wow.
And
big money.
Big money.
We did increase our prize money.
I was just I'm working around to that. But we, one of the things that we did was we got a lot of local musicians, the Harris Brothers. We had Carolina Ray Wisnant, Patrick and I were involved, Bob Kogut was involved, and we took some of those old songs and played them, and one of them was Tucker's Barn, which of course was the original name for this area that we were in. But yeah, we did not mention that along with the competition of individual instruments on Saturday, we also have a band competition, that there are prize monies for all of these. And the prize money, just kind of to give an example of, do you know off the top of your head?
I believe first place band, and I could be wrong, the website is accurate,
Yes.
but I believe it's $700.
Wow.
I mean, a band is 3 or more people.
Right. And that's all on happyvalleyfiddlers.org. And registration is now open.
And William, what qualifies to, you said a band would be 3?
Yes, or more.
3 or more, and any instruments, is it all acoustic instruments?
Yeah, so it is.
It's all acoustic.
It's acoustic instruments.
No pluggies.
Yeah. Though at this point, electric guitar is kind of old. It's long in the tooth. I think it might be old enough to be traditional.
Yeah, I think it might be.
Non-amplified instruments, and then we've got a really great sound crew too. So you'll
Blue Ridge
sound great.
Blue Ridge Sound. It's John Holder and Blue Ridge Sound.
Do a great job.
John grew up here in Lenore, North Carolina, and he's a man who was always a great guitar player and played in local bands. And then as an adult, John's passion became sound engineering, and he has one of the finest sound companies. He's known nationally. He works professionally all the time with a band out of Asheville called Balsam Range. He tours the country doing sound for them, and he always provides just top quality sound.
Doesn't
get any better than Blue Ridge Sound.
They do a really good job. I don't think get thanked enough.
Oh, yeah.
Good sound crew.
That's a hard job.
Yeah.
It's a hard job, but it's huge for
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
Yeah, it really
To have a
really
successful music festival, it has to sound good.
Yeah,
And so,
and-
and so that's
and-
why we always get the best.
Speaking of the competitions, you can pre-register online on our website. You can sign up. Doesn't cost anything to sign up. You still have to pay to get into the festival. It's not much, $10
Yeah.
if you're there that day, and that all just goes towards running the festival. But yeah, you can pre-register online. The reason we like to suggest people do that is just to make sure you get a spot. You can come the day of and still sign up, but we only have a limited number of slots. And we just do that because that keeps a Fiddlers Convention from going to like 2 in the morning. I mean,
Sure.
sometimes they can
Yeah.
just go because they
Yeah.
just anyone that comes they'll put
Yeah.
on, but it can go
Yeah.
way late in the night. And
We've
we
seen
also
that happen.
right. I mean, so there's the benefits of that side of things. But for our festival, we really like the way that we do the competitions because you can show up. Know when your time is that you're going to perform. You can be down there playing with your buddies,
Yeah.
and then you're like, well, okay, it's time for us to go up there, and you can go perform. You don't have to wait in line, and none of that. It's really friendly, I think, to the
Yeah.
musicians. You don't
It
have to
is.
stand in a line that's 300,
Right.
people long.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's well organized.
Yeah, it's
Sure is.
tightly run little ship there, but it's great. Yeah, you can pre-register online, and our registrations are a little bit down this year. I think from us
Yeah.
trying to catch back up from being off for 2 years,
Yeah.
or some people may be just waiting
Yeah.
to see. But I do suggest going ahead and signing up. And who knows, you might even get lucky. You might just might be a certain. Maybe only 3 mandolin people compete, and you're guaranteed third place. You know,
Hey, I might sign up.
right? Yeah, I know, right? You could just.
I may be calling you to be like, okay, I really don't play.
Right, yeah, right.
Sure,
Yeah,
I can
yeah.
maybe
I can be in
figure
that
out
other category.
Right. Yeah, other
out
could be
something.
interesting.
Well, Paige, thank you for having us
Thank
today.
you for being here. Before I let you play us out,
Sure.
let's go over the logistics one more time. I think it's all on
Absolutely.
your website, which we will put on the screen.
Right. It's
Labor Day weekend.
Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Tickets for, it's free for Friday.
Friday's free.
You can get a weekend pass for $25, or it's $10 Saturday, $20 Sunday. Pay at the gate, or you'll be able to actually get tickets online.
And we have free parking.
Free parking.
You have to pay to get to the parking because you pay before you park, but it is free parking. Yeah, that's true. Hey, that's something. I mean,
That's a perk.
That is a perk. I've been to a lot of places where parking costs way more than my ticket to get in.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, parking is free, and it's just a wonderful place. I'm really looking forward to it. Of course, I'll be busy the whole time, so it's different for me. But it's a great experience. I can't wait.
And you get to go on vacation after the Fiddlers Convention.
He gets to collapse after.
Yeah,
Wow.
right. I get to hibernate for a little while there.
And if people want to volunteer, they can go online.
Yes, so they can reach out to us, give us their contact information through our website. Just use our little contact form. You could also reach out on Facebook, but probably the website would be a little bit better because there are 2 Facebook pages. One is actually community one that is just run by fans of the festival, and then there's the official one that we run. So, but any of those, if you want to volunteer with us, we'll
You'll find a spot.
we
I'm
will.
sure.
Yes, for sure. It's a fun time.
All right, well, play us out.
Well, we're going over the waterfalls.
Over the waterfall.
That was me falling out of the boat.